Hey everyone, the numbers are in for Calypso in Panama City Beach for third quarter 2024. I'm Craig Duran with the Duran Group of Berkshire Hathaway Home Services. For those of you who don't know, I was on site at Calypso, the original pre-construction back in 2003. I was licensed March of 2003, so I was around for the tail end of pre-construction on the Gulfront Towers. My office was there on site from 2001 to 2018. I think at last count, I had sold 170 or something uh, units in Calypso over the years. So very familiar with the project. I want to show you what I'm seeing in the market, and more importantly, what I think may happen with pricing going forward. I think there are two scenarios we can watch and pay attention to. Before that, I'm extremely excited to share this bit of information with you. I know a lot of you have used this system with me before. We lost it for a little while, but thankfully it's back. The most accurate, easy to use way I know for people to keep up with their value of the property is this, what I'm getting ready to show you. I've been selling real estate for 21 years and tried a lot of different computer programs. So much of the software is based around being helpful to real estate agents and not necessarily a buyer or a seller. This is the best way I've seen for owners of real estate to keep up with the value of what they own. So what this is a system that will show you everything. Essentially, it's tied to our local realtor, real estate agent MLS, and it will show you exactly what's happening through that system, just like a real estate agent would search. It'll show you everything that comes up for sale, goes pending or under contract, sells. This is the most important part: how much it sells for, what the date, and what the actual sales price is, not what your friends said they sold their condo for. It's the actual sales price. And if anything was on the market and came off the market, it will show you that also. Um, in probably just as important as the accuracy. It is also a very easy to use system. It looks great on your phone. So if you're waiting in line, waiting in the waiting room of the doctor's office, just flipping through some things, you can very quickly, easily look, get the information, and move on. It looks like this. This is what it would look like if you're on a desktop. It even looks a little bit better on a cell phone, I think, but still looks good here. This, for example, is everything that happened on the beach in the last 2 days. And what it'll do is it'll show you any price adjustments. This moved down $4,000. Anything that's new to the market's in a different banner. If it sells, it's in a different color banner. I believe it's red. You can see all these. Right now there's a lot of price reductions back on the market. Back means back on the market. You can click on through each one of the photos very easily. If you're on your phone, you can make the photos bigger so you can see everything very clearly. If you want a little less detail, you can have just some of the basics. Like if you had this set up for Calypso, you could very easily, you probably wouldn't need more detail. But if you did want more detail, you can click in here, click on the map. You probably wouldn't need that at Calypso, but you can click on full details and it'll show you a sheet. Well, let me just show you one. I don't have it all the way set up yet, but we're just launching like today. Full details will show you the full spec sheets, descriptions, all the photos, everything you want. Now, what most people do with me who own real estate is say, hey, Craig, set this up so that anytime something happens in Calypso, I'm notified. And I can either set it up so that you're notified instantly, like anytime something happens, it sends you an email, or once a week, once every 2 weeks, once a month. And if you have it more spaced out than that, what will happen is the system will just send you everything that happened in the time frame since the last time it sent you something. So if you want to just look at it once a month, easy to do. You can also set this there. I have a lot of control on how to set this up, so I could set it up just for Tower 3 or just for the Gulfront Towers. If you're trying to compare apples to apples, I can set it up only for 1-bedroom units, 2-bedroom units, 3-bedroom units. I can set it up only by price. You get the idea. If you wanted to keep track of anything else, if you wanted to keep track of the entire condo market, just the 1-bedrooms, only built since 2006, I could set it up that way. So any neighborhood and almost any way that a real estate agent can search on the back end is now, you can have this access just as easy. And I think, again, probably the most important part, besides how easy it is to use, it's very accurate and you can see sales prices. So if you'd like to be set up for that and you aren't already and you're not on my list, if you are on my list, a little more patience. It's going to take me a while to get through everybody that wants to be set up in the system. But if you want to be on the list, shoot me a text to 850-290-0417, Calypso Tower 3, Calypso Gulfront Towers, whatever, however you want to send it, and we'll get you set up. So the market. Our months of inventory number, for those of you who know my spiel on this, 5 or 6 months of inventory, remembers, is a neutral market. We improved in the third quarter. Here's the third quarter here. We were at a lousy 32 months, which means it would take us almost 3 years to sell out of all the condos in the newer buildings on the beach. Thankfully, we recovered to 17 and 15 months of inventory. So optimistically, if you just looked at the third quarter, things got much better. If you look at this still, though, from what's been happening the last year and a half, we're still slower, much slower than we were April, May of this year, even June. We're slightly slower than we were in June, which is encouraging that we're slowing at a slower pace. But we're still 15 months of inventory is an extremely sluggish market. That's why pricing, marketing, all those things become that much more important. You've heard me talk about that a lot, so I won't go into that today. If I look at just the activity in Calypso, all 3 buildings from the third quarter, I pull up 70 results. But let me organize this for you a few different ways. Let's start with just what's sold in that time period. We only had 9 sales. Tower 3, 408, a 1-bedroom, sold for $335. We've had a few more sales in Tower 3, different floor plans, but 370, 385, 395, 400, 405. Then you jump over to the Gulf side, 1-bedroom, 2-bath, $474,000 sale. Back over to Tower 3, 2 sales on 3-bedroom units. One was an interior unit at $615. One was an end unit at $790. I was actually involved in 2 of those 9 sales. I was working with the seller on 2 of those. If we look another way to look at the market, and we look at anything that of those, remember we had 70 listings before. 14 of those listings were on the market and came off of the market. So if you see this canceled, expired, canceled, expired, temporarily off the market, those are 14 properties that tried to sell that couldn't get sold, and are off the market for whatever reason. So if we look at the current state of the market, there are only 2 units pending right now, both on the Gulf side. Tower 2, 2307, asking $524,900 is pending. Tower 2, 2101, asking $744 is pending. And then we get back to what's for sale, and I'll give you my opinion on where we see opportunity if you're an owner. So starting in Tower 3, I've got this organized by price. Starting in Tower 3, the least expensive unit for sale is $407,900, and then there's a jump to $424, and then there's another jump to $449, and now another one at $450, then jumping up to $473, $475. If you remember, where a lot of the sales were in the high 3s, anyone serious about selling a 1-bedroom unit probably has a little opportunity right now, because pricing, pretty quickly, once you're at 424, even 449, there's going to be some pricing challenges there for buyers. Still more 1-bedrooms for sale as high as 488, 495, 499 even. Gulfront Tower, You can get into the Gulf side for $499 asking price on a fifth floor unit. On its face, that looks like a pretty good asking price depending on the condition for a lower floor unit on the Gulf side. Gulf side again, $515 and $519 for 1 bedroom, 2 bath with bunks. Again at $522. Third floor unit at $528. Another one at $529. The O5 stack, is a really excellent rental unit on the Gulf side. 2 of those priced asking $539. And another O5 unit asking $549. 3-bedroom units over in Tower 3 starting at $649 is the asking price. Pretty quickly jump up from there to $665, $675, $679. End unit as low as $729. Gulf side asking $734, $739, $745 for that 2-bedroom, 2-bath with a bunk plan. Back to Tower 3, interior 3-bedroom unit at $748. It's the asking price. Back on the Gulf side, $749. 2-bedroom, 2-bath with bunk, $750. 2-bedroom, 2-bath with bunk. Just seeing any major changes. End units on the Gulf side starting at $769. 2-bedroom end units starting at $769, $789. End units in Tower 3, $849, $875, $899. Tower 1, ground floor unit in Tower 1 asking $1.35 million. So back to the trajectory of where prices could be headed. If you look at, let's start with the median sales price from that same March of last year. You can see we have depreciation in the market. We've gone from 567 down to 449 for the median sales price of a condo in Panama City Beach built since 2005. Calypso is certainly above average, if not superior location to so many buildings. So of course pricing will be higher, but we're just looking at trends. The average sales price for condos in Panama City Beach, again, built since 2005. They were up to $599 in March of 2023, back down to $482. So if you look here, third quarter, what's happened, we were sort of staying a little bit flat and we've dropped a little bit more in pricing. 2 things I think could happen with prices. The fundamentals of condo ownership have gotten more expensive. If you think about, plenty of buyers, especially in Calypso, are looking for some type of rental income to offset their expenses. Plenty of people who are looking to break even or do better with a loan are in a really tough position. It's almost impossible unless you're putting down a substantial amount, even with interest rates coming down. But with higher insurance costs, higher HOA fees, assessments from structural integrity reserve studies and all that, and lower rental revenues, we've got challenges for buyers and why you see less demand right now. It's very possible we don't have a lot of sales happening. As you saw, there are only 2 units pending in all of Calypso at the moment. And so it's almost like the gears are stuck on the sales and everything is kind of moving slow. So whatever is happening with pricing up or down is happening slow. Thankfully, I think we still have depreciation that we've already seen, and we still may have some to go before we find the bottom. It's just not happening very fast. And one thing to watch out for is, as things speed up, that depreciation, that move to wherever the market is going to go is going to speed up until it finds a foothold. I think one very real scenario is that if transactions pick up, pricing can slide a little more before it finds a foothold. And then think about this in real estate. Once we find a bottom, whatever that is, the market generally will stay there for some time until there's something different enough to start some appreciation the other way. So we could be a while before we have this move that lands somewhere and then stays for a while before it starts some normal minor appreciation to start getting some momentum. We were in a hot market in 2004 and 5. We came down, we found a bottom, we had nominal appreciation until 2020, 15, 16 years before we found another hot market like that. A lot of people subscribe to the idea that real estate can be a cyclical market of about 17, 18, 19 years, something like that. If that all happens, we could have more sales, maybe after the presidential election going into the spring, good for the real estate agent, but we could still see prices moving down some before we find a foothold. So if the plan is, hey, I want to sell this now, or I want to get out of this soon, make sure you're pricing ahead of the market. Otherwise, you could be losing some more money on paper before it gets better. The other thing that I think could happen in PCB is that maybe we're close to the flattening already, even though the cash flow is not as good. The fundamentals of condo ownership are not as good as they were. We have new buyers coming into the market, and we have things like Top Golf and Pier Park East, the Dolly Parton development, the 87-acre hospital, all this activity going up Highway 79 that's helping things. It's not here yet. It still takes some time for those things to finish getting built and then for people to learn about them. So we could still have a couple of years before we feel the real effects of that. But hopefully, one possibility I see is maybe the market stays a little bit flat while people are waiting for those things to happen. But it only takes a handful of condo owners who really want to sell and who drop their price to pull down on the market, especially when you have that 15 months of inventory sitting there. So again, if you want to keep up with what's happening very accurately, very easily, give me a call or shoot me a text to 850-290-0417. Again, just type in Calypso if you're texting, or Calypso Tower 3, or Calypso 1 bedroom, however you want to do it. I'll set you up. The system's very, again, easy to navigate. I'm not a spammer. I almost despise email just because I have so much email to deal with. So I'll just set you up on the system. You tell me how frequently or infrequently you want it, and you use it. Most important thing is you'll see what the actual sales prices are. I hope you found this helpful. I'll be in touch 2025 with an end of the year wrap up. Maybe we'll start to get some more momentum in the market by then. Enjoy it. Be in touch soon. Thanks.